Hello, chess friends. We are watching the Bughouse World Championship Challenger section, Group A, and this is kaiski4 and nyarjar versus mihaiandrei and ovidiuc. I thought this was supposed to happen. Oh, by the way, this pawn is free. Oh, should have exploited the pin. Oh, the queen is pinned here. I thought this was supposed to happen 2 hours ago, and I was ready to stream it then, but apparently there was a time zone confusion. I think all the players were on the same page, but whoever put it in the calendar, okay, queen in here would be mate. Whoever put in the calendar, I guess put as Eastern time, what should have been Pacific time. Or maybe they put as I'm not sure what exactly happened. Or I guess maybe they put as Central time, which should have been Pacific time. Because it was supposed in the calendar, it was 2 hours ago. Okay, so our score is currently 1-0, favoring Ovidiuc and mihaiandrei. Kaiski is putting this king in a net. Knight, new knight mates. That does not mate because the knight can take. Okay, might as well save the knight. kaiski4 getting attacked. Nyarjar also getting attacked. Queen would be good for nyarjar, but that seems very unlikely. And now mihaiandrei trying to get rid of these problems. Can't lose this queen though. So it's very important to keep the queen safe. We could take this pawn. And what's the time like? Nyarjar is up a whole bunch of time. Ooh, I don't like this queen retreat. I might have taken the bishop first. But probably going to be okay. Maybe stick a pawn in there. Don't know about this knight move. Oh, okay, he's grabbing the queen. Potentially targeting this knight later, but now another knight is going to let the attack happen. Knight at h3, or yeah, knight at h3. His f3 is covered by the knight. And this is going to be a pretty strong attack for ovidiuc. A lot of these key squares are currently covered. Kaiski would like to attack. If he got a knight, he could have possible attacks here. Rook mates for ovidiuc. Okay, he's guarding this square. You could still put a pawn in. I would just drop a pawn in at g7. Okay, so he's taking the knight to help his partner, but that mates him. Yeah, so taking the knight freed up that square for a knight to drop in for mate. So not a good plan. Our score is currently 2-0, favoring the ovidiuc team. So in the challenger section, it is first to 11. You don't need to win by 2. Winning by 1 is fine. You can just retreat that bishop. So now that becomes a free piece. I like attacking the queen here. Makes sense. Knight here might have been even better because you would have been threatening to take the pawn, but this is still fine. I would start dropping like bishops in, tempoing the queen. This is fine too. Now you could drop a new knight here or drop it back. I think new knight in might have been a little bit better to keep the knight attacking these squares. Bishop in makes sense. And if pawn takes, you could always take this pawn. Or you could take the queen. Mihaiandrei probably wants some diagonals, like a pawn or a bishop. Another possibility is to bring this bishop back from attack on this diagonal. Then you have to watch out for a queen sack on g7. Don't like that move. It does force a queen trade. I guess he can't trade queens because now knight mates. That's already made on e7. Kaiski has checkmate in one, and he finds it. He had two knights to do the mate. Score is now 2-1, favoring the ovidiuc team. En passant possible here. Nyarjar seems reluctant to castle. I'm not sure why. Castling usually a good idea. But he's guarding this pawn. Knight at f4 can be a good way to attack the queen. Maybe take a free pawn. Kaiski going after the dark squares. And his opponent doesn't seem to be defending, which is a little odd. Another knight would be a good attacking piece. And his partner gives up the queen for that knight. I would drop a pawn in. Ooh, the double check would have been nice. Knight could win queen. There is a knight in take, but nyarjar is getting a little bit unsafe. Okay, he moves the bishop to where a queen or a rook could be good. Ooh, a pawn is quite good for ovidiuc. Ovidiuc down by 1 second. So can't necessarily wait for that. So what are some possibilities here? I would consider pushing this pawn to let my bishop out. Another possibility would be knight at e4 to threaten like another knight in. Okay, now he's got his bishop on the diagonal attacking the knight. Oh, pawn check, quite good. Taking a free rook. And Kaiski needs some material. So, okay. I like this knight check. I'm gonna keep initiative. Knight takes pawn, quite good. And now another knight in, or actually queen in is quite good. This is mate. Queen at e3. This knight move not bad either. Now you have knight takes pawn, then knight takes rook. Oh, this mates, supported by the knight. So great attack for ovidiuc. My score is now 3-1, favoring the ovidiuc team. So we notice nyarjar has not moved his king's bishop, which means like pawn at d7 is pretty devastating. Knight at c5. Nyarjar is going to lose very quickly. Knight takes pawn is quite good, or a new knight at e6. Now I like bishop at a6. But another possibility is even just to move the knight back out, because you're threatening two different pawn drops. It's hard to guard both. Bishop at a6, quite good. Hey, Piharv. Yeah, lack of development of that king's bishop. And we do have an emote for that. Queen trade happened. That is the worst thing for nyarjar. but I guess they were downtime, so no way to prevent that. Alright, our score is 4-1, favoring the ovidiuc team. That's a mate threat. Okay, he grabs the free pawn. And a pawn check. Then, okay. Now a bishop is quite good. Pawn is good too, but bishop is better. Okay, he's sacking. And now pawn plus knight is quite good. Bishop is good. Kaiski needs pieces. Oh, there's the bishop. I don't like it on f7. It was better to put it further back in the diagonal so that then the knight could come in later. So we've taken a queen, but again, not much to do without more material. Oh, I hate that move unless a knight was really good for his partner, which it wasn't. I would have just pawn takes pawn. Try to come in on the dark squares. And by the way, you could use knight-knight to get this rook off the board. And start checking. Mihaiandrei needs to get pieces on the board. Maybe like a knight in somewhere. Okay, this seems reasonable. Making a mate threat. These dark squares are weak now. And you could do a knight-knight. Just pushing the pawn. Now Kaiski's up time. Trades are quite good for him. But queen... Oh, okay, so this is mate for nyarjar. So Kaiski could just wait so his partner can mate. Queen in. Alright. Our score is now 4-2, favoring the ovidiuc team. So nice mate by nyarjar. Ovidiuc looks like he's always going for this sack. Nyarjar needs to get his king's bishop out, or he's gonna be mated. Like, here you have this threat, so you basically have to take. And ovidiuc gets this massive attack, and the king's bishop is still not out. That just hangs a knight. But he wants more. He wants a queen or a king. That knight's your best friend. Yeah, I like that move. Okay. This is gonna get ugly. So this should be a really easy mate for ovidiuc. You can drop a queen in, then queen takes pawn. The bishop works too. Place the queen where the king is. That's mate. nyarjar needs to learn to get his king's bishop out, or he's going to be mated every time he's black. Nyarjar does much better when he's white. He gets that king's bishop out, which is key. Kaiski attacking some weak squares. Ooh, that looks quite scary. Now diagonals are quite good for mihaiandrei. Maybe just a pawn. Pawn for s7. Pawn plus knight is pretty good. And there's the knight. Now you can knight check, king up, knight takes pawn. Or is there a better place to move the knight? Yeah, I mean, this seems reasonable. Okay, pawn mates. Pawn check on h5, and knight check is mate. Don't like this move. Now you've lost the knight. I mean, diagonals are still quite good, but they no longer mate immediately. Now Kaiski trying to defend and win some pieces. So if knight check, then we can take this pawn, but I think that's fine. Ooh, should not have allowed Kaiski to start checking, but probably fine. I mean, diagonals are good for Kaiski. Oh, Kaiski trying to retreat. Whoa, knight here was crushing. Okay. This a few little things will mate here. Bishop check seems quite good. Rook here is mate. Our score is now 6-2, favoring Ovidiuc and mihaiandrei. This bishop might have been better here, but that's okay. At least he's defended. This is a scary diagonal to open up. Oh, that's a queen. Why aren't we taking the queen? It's still a queen. Oh, gotta watch this knight from falling, because then g7 will be free to stick things in. This is already defended. I think pawn at d6 would have been good for Ovidiuc. He's over defending, but that's fine. Attacking and defending at the same time. Okay. Finally he drops the pawn, but he does it when it's no longer as good as the bishop defended. Oh, but he doesn't defend. Okay. So pawn here is mate, because the bishop guards. We like checkmate. Checkmate in one move. Already has the pawn. Don't know what he's thinking about. Checkmate, candidate move. Alright, he finds it. Our score is 7-2, favoring the ovidiuc team. And this is first to 11. Okay, pawn would win a piece. He doesn't wait for it. Continuing to move. Trying to use the h-pawn as an attacking piece. I was trying to open up the rook file. Ooh, I would have rather taken the pawn before. Rather have your bishop at the end of that whole sequence. Ooh, I think bishop on the other side is potentially better. but now a pawn could be quite good for Kaiski. Kaiski is up at this point, up about 10 seconds. His partner needs to keep moving. Move, move, move. Get that diagonal. Probably worth a queen, honestly. I'll take that in a heartbeat. I would play knight takes pawn here. Okay, his partner's going to attack instead. Queen over. Exploit the diagonal, leads to mate. Queen d5, chess move. We'll see if he knows how to play chess. Instead, he's probably going to wait for pieces. A lot of people wait for pieces to drop instead of finding chess moves. His partner has a good attack. His partner is mate with a knight. Knight check, pawn takes, queen in, pawn in. Most players don't find that mate, and he does not. Queen trade possible. Queen at e8, good for both players. I hate this knight move. Okay, so he was waiting forever for this pawn, which does practically nothing. Okay, well this mates, I guess. But he already had mate with the queen move a long, long time ago. So it's weird to wait for that. Pawn wins a piece. There's a pawn. He doesn't win the piece. Pawn still wins a piece. So now two pawns could attack this rook. Maybe knight check. Now here I would consider just backing off the knight to try to attack this pawn. I don't like that. That solidifies his defenses more. I like this sack. Alright, so now trades are fantastic for Kaiski. His partner is sitting. Ooh, I like this move a lot. Threatening queen takes queen. And now you can just retreat the knight. He's done. So trades are necessary for Kaiski. I hate this move. Mihaiandrei getting more pieces on the board, which is a great instinct. So these squares are covered. Pawn takes bishop, a little scary, but I don't think it leads anywhere. Oh my god, that's his king. Okay, both these guys are getting attacked pretty hard. Oh, the queen mates for nyarjar. The ovidiuc has to check every move. And I think he can accomplish that. Just bishop takes pawn, knight out. Looks pretty crushing. This queen where the king is. Should be mate. If not immediately, then yeah, I think it's just immediately mate. Alright. Another win for ovidiuc. Our score is 8-3. Favoring ovidiuc and mihaiandrei. Mihaiandrei. So pawn still wins a piece for Kaiski. This happens every opening. So diagonals are good. Pawn still wins a piece. Could drop a knight here. Okay, I don't like this move at all. Just lets him trade. when you want to be winning stuff. That's mate. Checkmate in one. Chess move. And he has stolen. His partner maybe told him, you have checkmate. But no, I don't see any chat. Maybe they're in a call. I don't know. Our score is now 9-3. Favoring Ovidiuc. So that move gets the rook active, but it makes g3 weak. So you're going to have to shore up the dark squares at some point. Queen guards the dark squares, at least temporarily. But eventually you want to drop a pawn, probably on h1 or g3. Time is relatively close here. Mihaiandrei going for defense. I guess he's going after this pawn, but it doesn't accomplish that much. Okay, now tempo in the queen. Oh wow, that worked out for him. Ovidiuc on the defense. Kaiski eating some pieces. Kaiski is in a little bit of trouble here. He would like a rook to attack. Like rook at h1, sack the bishop. Would be good. Ooh, don't know about this queen move. Looks pretty scary. I don't think he's taken these threats seriously enough. Is this a free knight? Looks like it. I like that move. Queen over, bishop check. Okay. So, oh yeah, that's mate. Queen takes. Great find. Our score is now 10-3. This could be match point. So, ovidiuc team is up. Hey, Metal Eagle. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching. So he wants to open the rook file up, which is why he's just leaving his knight there. Okay, pawn being attacked. Place for the knight. Oh, that's with check. So might as well do our checks. Don't like this move. We've just done the check. What? I mean, I think would check was even better. But, taking the queen. I would definitely start checking. Oh, that looks really scary. You can't take that. Now a rook mates, bishop is incredibly good. I would just bishop check, bishop takes pawn. Then you guard this square. I hate this knight move. So now queen mates, but the queen is just super unlikely. Nyarjar is sacking a lot of pieces for no compensation. Eventually you're going to have to take this pawn, but he lost a lot. He is up time. Maybe his partner's going to try to get him the queen. Like, pawn at g4 is interesting. Well, that we can just take. Pawn at g4 is still interesting. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, well that gets a rook. Rook check. I don't know what he's waiting for. Rook check seems reasonable. So I don't think you have time to take the queen though. Okay, pawn check, I guess. I guess he's going all in on the attack. Knight check. Knight check at f4 seems like the best knight check, because if he goes towards you, then you're cutting him off from going back, and you have pieces over here to help. Alright, this is looking promising. I would even sack this. I think you just need to feed your partner. Oh, I would have played queen takes knight in a heartbeat there. You need to feed your partner. Oh god, I don't think they're communicating. This is a pretty good knight move. Now you have knight takes pawn afterwards. Can't take that. I think he's just dead, no matter where he goes, but king to the left lives the longest. If you're gonna die anyway, do it quickly so he doesn't have time to calculate. When Kaiski just sat there for 30 seconds, now there's no way Mihaiandrei does not see the checkmate. If he'd done that instantly, then there were chances. Oh, that was not the move. Queen here was instant mate. Queen here, then queen takes. I would, well, I guess either one is fine. Okay, I don't think Mihaiandrei realized that he has to checkmate, that his partner is completely dead. I think that's the failure to communicate there. Like, pawn could come in here. Okay, so that's a win for the Kaiski team. This should have been really easy win for Mihaiandrei. He missed, like, many checkmates at the end there. Hey, Jonas. You say it's mate right on the board now. I don't think it was mate because he could have dropped the piece to block. Like, which he did when the rook dropped, if you're talking about that situation. But I mean, it was made in 2. It was not made in 1, as far as I saw. But maybe I missed something. Yeah, I like taking this pawn. I would take another pawn. And I don't think Mihaiandrei can defend this. He's going to have to sack his queen, and probably a lot more than that. I would bishop check. Okay. Well, now he picks up the queen, but he doesn't do it with initiative anymore. Knight check. It just picks up a rook with initiative. I hate this queen move. Knight check. Still best. He's found it. Okay, so now knight mates. Rook is pretty good. This pawn move is reasonable. Keeps all the threats. Queen takes pawn to stay safe. Knight mates. Rook is very good. Ovidiuc trying to defend. You could take this pawn, go after the knight maybe. Or just drop more pieces on. So he's just trying to undermine this knight so he can drop a rook for mate. Now rook mates. Also bishop takes pawn. Knight check is good. Should have waited for knight. A knight would have mated there. don't know why Nyarjar is sitting. It's the worst time to sit. His partner needs feed. Oh, rook takes pawn was the move. And all of a sudden, the tides have turned again. I guess we could just come out here. So both sides missed a lot of mates. This is going to be a free queen because of the mate threat. Checkmate. All right, that's match. So, final score is 11-4. Let's say GG's in the chat. Favorin. That was a quickie. Yeah, ovidiuc did a great job attacking there. So we're talking about different boards. Oh, maybe Jonas. Rook at f8 was mate. I guess I must have missed that on an earlier board. Yeah, so I think part of the reason was, I mean, nyarjar had a really difficult time defending his black, because for the first, 10 games of the series, he did not get his king's bishop out. He did a little better with defense near the end. There were missed opportunities on both sides. So with this video, they can review the video and see where they could have improved. But still, it was an exciting match to watch. nyarjar almost 1800 without moving his king's bishop. Yeah, well, it seems like he was trying to develop his king's bishop, but ovidiuc attacked so quickly that it becomes critical that you do it immediately as soon as possible rather than waiting a couple moves, because ovidiuc did not let him wait a couple moves. And versus most opponents will let you wait a couple moves, won't punish you instantly. But ovidiuc is so aggressive that not developing the king's bishop instantly it's just going to be crushing. Okay, so let's find someone to raid. I'm going to check the chess category. If anyone has any suggestions, I'm open to those. Hunter Wiz is streaming, but we've raided him a lot. So probably we're going to look for someone else to raid here. First, I'm going to check to see if anyone is streaming chess variants. And I don't see any chess variants here. Okay, I think we can raid the chess Tina. So I'll send you guys over to her. Thank you everyone for joining me, watching this. Really appreciate it. Thanks to the players for giving us a great match to watch. So there are some matches coming up. Here's a link to the calendar. So nothing else today, but tomorrow I'll be covering Chicken Crossroad and Zizon versus Navpad and Chess MN16. There's a match scheduled for Saturday. I think there's one Friday that hasn't made the calendar yet. There may be some matches that aren't making the calendar in time, but any match that makes the calendar, I will try my best to cover. I'm not going to be able to cover matches while I'm traveling for Christmas, so the 21st to the 31st. So that's 10 days I can't cover matches. But apart from that, I should be covering all the matches I can. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining me. If you haven't followed yet, be sure to drop a follow here. I send you to Chestina. She's a fun streamer, so drop her a follow as well. Have a great night, everyone. Bye, guys.